Hi. So, guys, what is the topic of conversation today?
The topic is this is our first podcast of the new year. And on this podcast, we're going to give our 1 through 10 and then bottom 3 relegated teams in the Serie A for the 25-26 season. My dad and Mike are still on vacation. They're a little
Bella
bit
vita.
they're a little bit late.
Well, I miss you, Mike. I miss you. Mike, where are you, Mike?
I wish he could say the same, but I don't think he says it.
What do you think? Mike misses me. Mike misses me. Yeah.
I don't know
Ask
if he
him.
does. It's
Mike,
still,
you miss me?
Still
Does he
calcio
answer you?
d'agosto.
He hasn't answered you in a while. I don't know if he misses you.
No, he answers me.
Can
He
I blame
answers
him?
me.
But
Yeah,
Mike
yeah.
is in Greece. My dad is in Sicily. So they're not around, but don't worry. I have their predictions. And my dad is already complaining, saying we're doing this way too early. And after the Mercato closes, we have to give an updated one. This is according to
I
him.
agree.
No, we're not.
We're not.
We're not.
According to Antonio.
We're not.
Why?
No, that's it. A 1 or 2 player is not going to make a huge
Well,
difference.
first you should be able to have the full market or the full team closed, and also you have a couple of games to see the
Listen,
teams to
you
watch
know,
and see what's going on.
What
There's a lot of
I will say
question marks.
is
can-
it's very hard to predict Serie A. In the last 6 years, we have nobody that's been able to repeat, go back to back. And Peter, when I told you to do the predictions, even you questioned and you said, wait, why am I doing 1 through 10 and not just 7? But when you look at it, you look at the table, the 10, it's actually very hard because all of a sudden we've got teams like Como who are in the mix, who could push, I think, this year for a European position. So while I have my top 10 and I feel very sure on the Champions League spots, the rest can be mixed up in so many different ways. I actually have no idea. Let's do this. Let's start with the bottom 3 first. The 3 teams that are getting relegated in Serie A next season. Antonio, why don't you kick us off? Which
right.
3 teams will be
Well,
relegated?
Unfortunately, one of the teams, it's in my region, it's Lecce.
Okay.
I don't want them to be relegated because there is a big rivalry between Lecce and Bari. But we have a nice kid from AC Milan that is playing over there as a forward. And I want him to do well for himself, and I want him to do well because of for the future that this kid has with AC Milan. Okay? So I have Lecce, then I have Cremonese, and then I have Pisa.
Okay. Pete, who do you have? Your bottom 3.
I have Pisa, Hellas Verona, and Cremonese.
Pisa, Hellas Verona, and Cremonese. Okay. So my dad has Lecce, just like you, Pisa, and Verona. Those are the 3. Mike has Cagliari, Pisa, and Cremonese. And I have Verona, Pisa, and Sassuolo. Those are my 3 in any order. Let's break a couple of them down. So you brought up Lecce. The thing that I don't understand about Lecce, and Peter and I were talking about this right before the podcast started, is number 1, they were the lowest scoring team in Serie A last year with 27 goals. They just sold Kristovic to Atalanta, which they did an amazing deal.
They did? It's official?
Yep. They bought him for 3.8 million. They just sold him for 25+ million. But you were already struggling for goals, and I looked at the percentage. He was involved in 60% of Lecce's goals.
It's a lot.
And what did you do? You got Camarda so far. They haven't done enough. They got Di Francesco to try to balance that out. But I also looked at some of the numbers because this guy Di Francesco, every team he goes to, he gets them relegated. He got Frosinone relegated.
But it takes them to the last week of the
last
season,
day.
and then it makes them go
still get
down.
relegated. In the last 5 years, he's had 2 relegations and 3 sackings. So for me, getting him is a big red flag. And the only reason why I would have kept Lecce up was because Corvino is a very good director and he knows how to build teams. But I feel like this could be their year to go down.
How much they pay for Kristovic again? $25 million?
They got paid for him from Atalanta, 25+ million.
Oh, my God.
25
You know, I
million
was
plus
hoping for him to go to AC Milan instead of this Oiland.
Actually, I like
wish he would have
Kristovic.
taken for AC Milan, Kristovic. I was hoping for.
I like him, actually.
I don't like this Hoyland. I just don't like him.
Kristovic could be like Retegui. What Retegui was at Genoa, under the right coach.
saw him play.
If Gasperini was still at Atalanta, I would say he could fight for top goal scorer. He's a good player.
Excellent player. Not good player. Excellent player.
What was your justifications behind your relegations?
I mean, just as far as the spending, I think that was the biggest thing for me. Hellas Verona sold every player and haven't really brought anybody in that, you can say, they look like they're trying to invest in the team. Pisa, same thing. Like, still a lot of question marks at this point of the market. and they missed out on one of the center backs that they were supposedly going to get because Parma sold Leone, was able to get Triolo. So just it's just a lot of issues. Then Simeone, they were supposed to get Simeone. They weren't able to close on that. So I just feel that it's going to be a hard uphill battle. And then Cremonese, same thing where, maybe we'll see if they're able to get a player or two that were on the list.
They got Sanabria today.
Yeah, Sanabria. So that's interesting. That's interesting, but still, you need support around him.
I'm surprised
so
let him
those are why I'm saying it. I just think Sassuolo, they still have Lauriente, they still have Berardi.
For now, they have Lauriente.
Volpato. So you have guys that definitely have played in the Serie A level, and I think if they can make a couple of other additions, they should be able to just stay up. And then I just think these are the three teams that will look to go down.
I think there's a few teams that are all pretty even to me, and I'm not disagreeing with any of you guys because I could see any of them get relegated. Honestly, it's this for me was the hardest thing to choose. The top 10 was much easier. The only thing with Cremonese is that they have Davide Nicola. I know he's not very good when he starts a season, but he is an expert at keeping teams up. He finds a way. That's my only justification why I kept Cremonese, and I saw a couple moves that got Serie A experience. Pisa as well. The reason why I really like Gilardino. I think Gilardino was hard done by in his last experience at Genoa. I think he has the ability to be a top coach, but when I look at their roster, there's a lot of things that make it hard for me to believe that they could stay up. But I do like him as a coach. Who else did you have getting relegated?
I have Cremonese, Pisa, and Lecce.
Okay. So, yeah, we covered all those teams. Again, it could really go either way. Let's go to the top 10. And we'll start with 10th place. Antonio, kick us off. Just 10th.
Number 10, I have Lazio.
You have Lazio 10.
That's right.
Same.
You have Lazio 10.
Somebody copy me.
Wow.
Whoa.
Wow, I did not.
Let me check. Okay, so me. Okay, let's start with Lazio 10th. We'll start with you guys first. Why do you have Lazio 10th place?
I mean, they couldn't make any investments. They couldn't buy any additional players. You bring Sarri back. Sometimes, soup reheated doesn't always taste as good. So, it's going to be interesting to see his response. So far, he's been biting his tongue. But I think as the season goes on, he's not going to be happy with not being able to bring any players. And I don't know if they can. Can they bring players in January?
Oh, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. But in any case, I'm sure it's not going to be that, the fact that they couldn't bring anybody in the summer. They're not going to be able to bring so many players during the winter time. And I think he's going to complain and have issues. And that's the only reason why I put them 10th, or else I would have put them higher. I know for the most part they didn't lose, right? Really, anybody? Mm-hmm. So that also is a benefit when you look to building a team. But I don't know. I just feel.
No, they didn't.
They still keep it. They still have it. Okay.
Can I give you the counter to why I didn't put Lazio in 10th place? Because I don't have them very much higher in the table.
Yeah.
My thing is, Sarri was able to finish second place with almost the same Lazio side. Like, they're missing a couple players here and there. And he's also one of the few coaches that has had the full team throughout the preseason. So he's had the roster, and I think that's going to make a difference, especially in the beginning. Those are the players that he can count on. They say that some of the guys who they thought were out of the project are going to stay in the project, and he's going to be able to get the most out of them, even players that he didn't like at first. That's my only thing, is that he's been able to overachieve. My problem is I look at the other teams, and I think that they got better. But I don't have Lazio in 10th.
Okay, that is the reasons why I have them. I mean, not because I do not respect Lazio as a team and as a group. It's because, you still have the Rovella, you have Tati, you have, Sarri's the coach, Zaccagni and all the stuff. But a lot of teams, they caught up and they are just breathing on their neck. So they stayed pretty much level for the last 3 or 4 years. They didn't make any big investment. But other teams like Como, for example, they really they're pushing the envelope.
So let me read our top 10. So I have Como in 10th place, and that's where they finished last year. And I really want to raise them higher as well, because I do think that they can challenge for a European position. They made incredible investments. They've been so smart. I think it says a lot that Fabregas remained at the club. He didn't go to Inter. He knows of the project that they have on their hands. But when I look at the other teams, I just see more guarantees. Would not surprise me if they could push for a European spot like a Conference League, but I still do have Como in 10th place. Mike, has Como in 10th place as well. So Mike and I agree.
Well,
And my dad has Atalanta in 10th place. Very low. I can't make the justification for him, but we move on.
Does he know that Kristovic has just been signed?
I don't think
When
that
did he
one.
give it to you?
Oh, so that is.
Oh.
My
He's
dad's
gonna
gonna be mad.
complain. He's
You
gonna
cannot
complain.
change it. You can, hey, don't give me
Got it.
that, okay?
Ninth place, I have Lazio for all the reasons that I just mentioned. Who do you have
Yeah.
in ninth place?
Fiorentina.
Fiorentina.
Yeah, and did you change that?
Wait, how do you guys both have the same
I didn't
one?
change it.
You did change it. Fiorentina is 9th.
Yeah.
Mike has Lazio in ninth place as well, and my dad has Bologna in ninth place. You guys want to talk about Fiorentina? Do Fiorentina? Since you both agree?
Yes, why not? I mean, we all love Fiorentina for the obvious reasons because of who we know over there and what it meant for the Brooklyn Italian, for us as a friends and all the stuff. But I think Fiorentina, they haven't done much on the transfer market. And as you just said it before, a lot of people, a lot of teams, they are into up and coming. Look, Como is going to be the big revelation for me. For some reasons, Como is going to just shock everybody. Atalanta, I see them drop. Fiorentina, I don't see them much. Fiorentina, listen to me. They kept
Moise Kean.
Okay.
The players that they kept Gossens. Those were big
Pioli
ones.
as a coach.
Pioli's the coach.
He's not going to do it.
The kid Som from Parma, very good on his debut. Scored against Manchester United. Also hit the post. They got Dzeko, who they want. They want Dzeko to play with Moise Kean and Goodmanson. We need to see a lot more from Goodmanson. Goodmanson has so much talent, but he has not shown it.
I don't see it.
I like Fiorentina, but again, I'm not sure that they did enough compared to the other teams. I have Fiorentina in 8th and jumping ahead. Just because of those reasons, I think they're about a 7th, 8th, 9th place team, depending on how everything moves. I don't think it's bad. Pioli has a chip on his shoulder. He already came out and went up against your coach, Allegri, because they asked Allegri who the teams are for Champions League, and he did not name Fiorentina. So Pioli said, I have a blackboard where I already put his name on there because they want to prove them wrong. And I think Pioli is very good at man managing. I'm just not sure, can he really get so much more out of this Fiorentina side? And so far in preseason, I haven't seen it click, especially up top yet. Anything else to add?
I don't see
Different
it.
than Fiorentina?
I don't see
No, I
it.
think
I just
the-
hope I'm wrong, but I don't see it. I don't see it for some reason.
Anything
Because
else?
for obvious reasons.
No, I think you hit all the points that I would think. Because I'm sorry, Dzeko, granted, he's done great things in our league. He's an older player, so you don't know what you can really expect now. How old is he? 39?
39.
So it's
38.
like,
No, 38.
38,
38
I don't
into 39.
so it's just like, if that's gonna be your starting forward, it's gonna
well,
make
it's
you
Moises
think.
Kean. Maybe 3
No,
5
they
2.
want to play
They're
it
saying
two.
that they're trying to
wanna
play
it
him
3
two.
5 2.
Yeah, they want to play two, so and Goodmanson behind. So, if he's a replacement of Keane, okay, but together, I don't know how that's gonna look. Well, it'll be interesting. Not to take anything away from Dzeko, because the guy's a serious professional, but it's just they didn't do enough for me to warrant them to really be pushing for a Champions League spot.
Yeah, I agree
That's
with
all.
that. I agree, 100%. I like Fagioli, though. I think Fagioli is a player who can do really well there, and hopefully he could do even better with Pioli, because, again, Pioli has had a good track record of getting the most out of players. 8th place, I have Fiorentina. No need for me to repeat everything that I just said. For Mike has in 8th place Atalanta, and my dad has in 8th place Lazio. Antonio, who do you have in 8th place?
I have Bologna.
Bologna?
I have Atalanta.
Let's take Atalanta, since we all have them much lower, out of a Champions League spot. Every single person has Atalanta out of a Champions League spot, which is something they've become synonymous with. Obviously, they lost the maestro of Gasperini, a man that changed the fortunes of that club, made them from a team that was coming from Serie B into a challenger every year. And they lost Retegui. They got great money for him. Lookman has been a disaster situation to Inter. Now he's back training on his own in Bergamo. Is he going to play for the club? Is he not? They lose 80% of the goals that they were able to score if they lose Retegui and Lookman. Who did they replace? They got Zalewski and Kristovic so far. They still have to play Champions League football. And then one of the biggest doubts is Ivan Juric. Ivan Juric has always felt like he's a pupil of Gasperini. He's always said he mimics his game off of him. He never had the team that Gasperini had, so he was not able to show the most. And while I think that he's not as bad as his last two experiences, being Roma and Southampton, where he has the record for being the worst Premier League coach of all time, I don't think he's that bad. I think he was thrown into bad situations. I just find it strange. How can you justify getting Ivan Juric coming off of that? So if things go badly, right? If things go badly for Atalanta, how can you say, we identified Ivan Juric because of X, Y, and Z? I think reality is going to hit them pretty fast, and I think that they get knocked out of Champions League.
Well, I have them out too, but I'm not going to tell you right now because I'm not up there yet.
Oh,
So, but I'll
what
tell
is
you
it?
what.
Why do we have
I'll tell you
Atalanta
what. This whole thing is becoming a saga. You know, I've been hearing all of this, triangulation between, hey, we give you Zalewski for 17 million, 18 million, and then I'll tell you what. This guy is going to become an Inter player, regardless if he's training on his own.
You think so?
100%.
You think he's going to be an Inter player?
100%. Listen to me. Lookman is going to become an Inter player for the obvious reasons. You do not take Zalewski,
Zalewski.
for 17 million, and then actually gifted 10 extra million to the team that just sold it to him. So Marotta, I think, is working magic. Marotta is the best at this thing here. For some reasons, you know what I will do? I will just subpoena the phone of him and Percassi. Just put it on the phone. I want to see all the text messages that is going on between those two guys. I'm telling you, Lookman is a 100%, not 99%.
You think he's going to Inter?
100% an Inter
I
player.
still think somebody could swoop in and grab Lookman.
100%.
But either way.
They're kind of doing the pescado, like they said over here in America. I think that's what they're doing. They're just putting the attention now.
I'll say Biscotto.
Pescaris. That's what they're
Either way,
They're doing the
the
pescado.
point-
In other words, they're going to put this guy here in the middle, and then Lookman is still going to wind up becoming an Inter player.
Either way.
100%.
Either way. For Atalanta, I'm assuming that Lookman is not going to be there, and that's the reason why I have them out of Champions League. Anything else to add on Lookman?
The thing is, even if Lookman stays, this is going to be the second year that he's staying.
He's unhappy.
And he's not happy. I think it was made it very clear. I mean, even going as far as taking off all the Atalanta pictures on his social media, making it evident to everyone that he's not happy. And when you don't have happy campers, it can create problems in the locker room. Juric, we saw what he did with Roma when there were problems in the locker room. So, although I don't want to, judge him based on, like you said, Roma situation was very tough, and you needed someone like Ranieri to fix it. And Southampton just wasn't as good as the rest of the Premier League, so it was whoever went there was going to fail. Torino and Hellas Verona are two very different realities at this point compared to Atalanta. Atalanta now, for the last few years, the expectation has always been Champions League. So things are going to... Whoever comes in after Gasperini is going to have an issue. And you either start winning early and silence any critics, or you're going to have a problem. And that's ultimately why I have Atalanta in 8th place.
And then when I look at some of the coaches that will be available, right? Because just looking ahead, there's Spalletti,
Motta.
who will be looking, Thiago Motta, Palladino. So there's a few guys that if things don't go well, I'm sure they're the first three names that teams are going to call on. And again, I feel bad because I think Atalanta has been a model for so many teams, not just in Italy, but all across the world to follow. Buying low, selling high, continuing to get better, getting the most out of the squad. I just believe that a lot of that, yes, the club did an amazing job. I love Percassi, Pagliuca. They do a great job. I do think that Gasperini's influence has been underestimated a little bit. And I think he was a huge, even more than they think, aspect of why the team was always able to stay so stable. And on top of that, you look how many players you're losing. So it's not even like you're going to keep if they were keeping the same squad, and then you got Juric, maybe he's going to, not rock the boat.
He's going to rearrange
There's too many things. Too many things.
Yeah, between Retegui, even though you get his Scamacca back, you get his Calvini, whatever you want, you lose two of the best scorers. Okay? Hey, between Lookman and Retegui, you think you're going to make up
goals? And Juric has already come out saying how mad he is. Like, he's already complaining.
Yeah, okay,
on the
so
players
that means
he
he's already kicking himself out of the door.
They kept Ederson.
Technically.
It's
I
amazing.
said, I told you so.
It's amazing that they kept Ederson because so many teams want him. But again, I just am not sure, and it kills me for me to put Atalanta as low as I have. But
What do you have it? Atalanta.
I'll get to it. I still don't.
Okay.
I still have them a little bit higher than you guys, but not yet.
No, you don't.
Seventh,
Not higher than me.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
7th place.
Como.
7th place, Como.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. We talked about them already.
Bologna.
I have Bologna as well. Let me see. Mike has Fiorentino. We spoke about them. My dad has Como.
You see, he's copying me from Sicily. Hey, Comandante, I saw you.
So you think Como is gonna
Yeah.
really do that well?
Yeah. It says, forget about it. The coach, it's 90. The coach is very important. First of all, in soccer, what I realized that you might have the best players, but it's the state of mind that you come. As soon as you walk into the field, you have to have that drive. You know, you can have mediocre players that has a coach that motivates you. Those mediocre players, they go one or two steps higher. They overwhelm you. So, but if you think on the other end, on the opposite side, to say, hey, that you're already achieved the greatness vis-a-vis, don't make me make, because I have a lot of names that I don't want to make it anymore. Then it's a down spiraling concept.
And they kept a lot of their important guys, like Nico Paz was one that we were all scared that was going to leave.
And they pick up a couple
Diao.
other youths from Real Madrid and Barcelona. Yeah.
Como's a very positive team for Serie A. I see a lot of people that were not into the league that are getting into Serie A because of a team like Como.
But they also spent probably second to Napoli.
Over 100
But
million.
Napoli sold Kvaratskhelia and Osimhen. Como haven't sold anybody. So they spent a lot of money. I think, I have Como one place higher than you, actually, 6th.
Wow.
The reason why I have Bologna 7th is because Bologna is going to be playing in Europe. And I think Como, the fact that they have no European competition, that gives them the extra boost, especially that all these players are playing. They went after all the players that Fabregas wanted. He wanted this certain style. He's got all the players. Literally, he got the players. Obviously, he's not going to go for the players that were worth 50, 60 million. But all the players that were on top of his list, he got.
Mm-hmm.
So, that means there's between ownership and him and the sporting direction, there's clarity, and they really
Pete,
have anything to
you got to
worry about.
He's spot on, Pete, because this guy here reminds me of Gasperini in terms of mentality. Fabregas wants everything on his hands. He wants full power. He said, hey, I go to you the owner. I said, hey, I want A, B, C, and D. And they give it to him because he knows how to plug the kids inside. The guy is probably one of the best scout that we have over here. Gasperini, he took no names and he made them become big names. The list is big.
Yeah, and Fabregas, to their credit, in the first season in Serie A, which is always going to be difficult, the first few games, I remember I put Fabregas as my breakout coach of the year. And I remember after the first few weeks, people were laughing. They were like, oh, look, you chose Fabregas. Because he was struggling. They were losing in a lot of games. And he talks about this. And he says he realized how they needed to adapt. We got players that were not ready for that level. We reinvested in January. And they thought long term. They said, we're not just buying players that are going to fit for 6 months. We're buying players for 3 years. So there is a great harmony between ownership, director, and Fabregas. And I said it before, but it makes a lot of sense that he stayed with the club. But you guys have him in 6th, 7th place. I have them in 10th place. It would not surprise me if they do go to where you guys are. That's how tight it's going to be in Serie A. And the margins are very thin. I'm just thinking that last year I already think they overachieved. And I just want to be realistic with my expectations of them. So that's why I have them in 10th place. Which, by the way, if they finish 10th place again, is an amazing season. Very few teams come from Serie B and are able to maintain that level.
No, it would be, listen, from 10th and up,
Yes.
that's a successful
Listen,
season.
Como,
The thing is, but they spent the money.
Yeah.
And also, listen, you're getting a Morata, too, right? Morata's coming. So this is a guy that's been playing in Champions League. He's going to add to the style that Fabregas wants, bringing quality players. So I have no...
he's got the ownership fully behind the project.
Well, he's
this guy
also
here.
a part owner, and
Yeah.
they're the richest owners in Italy
They're
as
richest
well.
owners in football.
In football, even better.
They're richer than anyone else. But
Even
obviously,
better.
with FFP, they can't. Can't spend as much. So we both mentioned Bologna. We have Bologna in 7th place. I'll kick it off. They lose Bukama. They lose Danendoy. They bring in Immobile. They bring in Vitic is the center back that they brought in to replace Bologna.
Bernardeschi.
To replace Bukama. They brought in Bernardeschi. They have a lot of
They should have
players-
brought in Insigne too.
They have a lot of players in the attack that they could switch around. And yeah, they do. They have a lot of options with Cambiaghi, Dominguez, Immobile, Castro. Who's the other center forward? Now I can't remember his name. The kid that always comes in.
Yeah.
Dalinga. So they have a lot of players, and Italiano likes to rotate. He's always changing his lineup. I'm trying to go based on history. When Bologna sold their players a year before, what did they do? They found solutions in-house. I think for a guy like Ndoye, Dominguez can be the replacement already. They have the guy. Dominguez is a fantastic player. Yeah. So I think that Bologna will do well again. I think that being in 7th place is very good for them. I think they'll go far in Europa League. If they kept all their guys, I would have said that they win Europa League. That's how good they are, because Italiano likes to go far in multiple competitions. They did amazing winning the Coppa Italia. I think that will only push them forward. I wish they didn't sell as many guys, but they got so much money for them. Sartori's a very good director. 7th place would be a great finish for them. That's where I have them.
They have to pray that Orsolini stays healthy and some of the top guys that stay healthy, the goalkeeper and all the stuff. But I don't know. Something is telling me that the Italiano is not going to do well this year for some reasons.
He only gets better.
Huh?
He only gets better.
I don't know.
I think he'll do well. This is his 2nd season now that he has the majority of the players. I just hope that, Immobile, Bernardeschi don't take away from a Santiago Castro and Dominguez, because I really think that those kids can have breakout seasons, and that would be interesting. I have them 7th, more importantly, because of the Europa League that you play, a lot of competitions.
Otherwise, you would have put them higher too?
I probably would have put them over
6?
Como.
Yeah,
I probably would have put them Como. I'm not saying that they break into the top 4, but even 5th, I would have no problem putting them there.
Can you see them going far in the Europa League? Nottingham
Yeah,
Forest is the
that's
other
what
team.
I think. For Italiano, that
Yes.
was my point. For Italiano, especially losing 2 finals, he has the Europa League circled. Like,
it does.
It's important to have,
because he knows they cannot win the championship, right? They said, let's go.
Yeah,
for the
I
Europa
think.
League.
Yeah, I mean, I think realistically, Bologna is not going to win the Scudetto, right? No aspirations
They're not even
there
in the conversation, guys.
Exactly. So for him, but Coppa Italia he won. I think he circled Europa League, especially the 2 conference leagues that he lost. He wants to win silverware, and it's also for him. I think this is a year where if he does well in Europa League, he moves to the next level, and that's what ultimately he's looking for right now.
The biggest thing that I learned is that in that Coppa Italia final, the other 2 finals with Fiorentina, which I think that he already overachieved by getting to those finals. I think that he did an incredible job at Fiorentina, and people look back at his past negatively. I don't see it like that. I think he did great getting there. What did he do in the Coppa Italia final that was different? Do you remember the way that they conceded to West Ham against Fiorentina? He was playing the guys so high up.
Yeah.
Against Milan, he was not scared to change, to put another defender in, to sit back. That's a coach that's learning. That's a coach that understood, hey, I could win 1-0. As much as we love the way that he attacks, Bologna conceded a lot of goals. His teams usually concede a lot of goals. They try to outscore their opposition. I think he learned, and I think he realized that brought me silverware, and that experience is only going to help him. And once he gets a taste of it, the guy's fantastic.
I think the defense is going to let Italiano down. They are very, very stacked up on midfield and offensive on the offensive line. Their defense.
They kept Lukumi, which is good.
You don't know Vitic, what he can do.
Got injured. Vitic, he's very similar to Bukama in the sense that he's fast, so he could play the high line. He's a big guy. But, again, he has a question mark. 6th, I have Atalanta.
I have Atalanta.
You have Atalanta as well?
That's 6th. Right. You copied me.
I had Como. We spoke
about him. Mike in 6th has Bologna. I spoke about them already. My dad's obsessed with Fiorentina. He has Fiorentina in 6th place. And we were fighting when we were having coffee last week because we have Fiorentina lower in the table. He believes in Pioli, and he believes in Keane and Dzeko and all these guys, which he's much higher on them. Just for everybody at home, he is obsessed with this Fiorentina for one reason or the other.
The defense is...
I don't see it.
Listen, Fiorentina is a very good team, but the defense is just not going to do it.
I think 6th place is too hard for them. I have Atalanta, like I said, in 6th place, just to be outside. 5th place.
Okay, I have...
Hold on. You're going last.
Why?
Wait, just wait.
Okay.
You're going last.
Roma.
I have Roma as well. Mike has Juve in 5th place.
Oh,
wow. Mike.
They're not going to be happy.
My dad has Roma in 5th place. Now, I already saw yours.
You did.
Can you, unless you change it again, who do you have in fifth place?
Inter.
It's okay.
Pete, I mean, Pete, I love you. I am mean.
Are you trolling?
Harm to
No,
you.
that's what
Are you trolling?
What do you mean trolling?
Trolling. Like
What's
you're
that
doing
mean?
it just to rile him up.
No, has nothing to do with that.
Okay.
I want to be right. I don't think Inter has got it. They don't have it. They one of the oldest defense over there.
Let's shelf Inter,
Why?
and we'll talk about them in a little bit.
Why? Because I have them on fifth? No, we're talking
no,
now.
Hold on. Because the rest of us have Roma in fifth, and let's talk about Roma first. And I have Inter higher up in the table, and we'll condense the conversation.
But this is manipulation.
Just wait. The time will come. We'll talk about Inter. Just wait.
Pete, you're not gonna do it.
Hold on. Roma.
I'm sorry, man.
Why do you have Roma in fifth place?
No, I think Gasperini gives a jolt of energy for sure. He's very different than Ranieri. It takes time for Gasperini's system to really be in all system ahead. So that's my biggest thing, and I just think the teams ahead of them, Juventus desperately needs to be in Champions League, and that's why they get the fourth spot for me. But the players, he's changed now, the center forward Ferguson, so you're gonna see what he has in mind, but I think it's going to take some time with Roma. They're just not going to break into the Champions League. And I think fifth place is a perfect reality for them. If they slip, I still can't be upset. It's year one with Gasperini, whether you finish fifth, sixth, seventh, you just want to be in the Europa League for sure. But you need to build out this year for the following year.
Let's make no mistake about it. Roma's objective has been to get back into Champions League. It's why they brought in Jose Mourinho. It's why they've made a lot of the moves that have not worked out for them in recent years. I'll preface this with, by the end of Gasperini's time at Roma will be in the Champions League. I'm not sure that happens in year one. Maybe in year two, maybe in year three. But I think in year one, I still have them in fifth place because I have a lot of question marks around the team. Gasperini's also come out and he's criticized Dovbyk, saying the qualities that he has. He clearly doesn't like him. Then he came out saying, guys, you wrote that I don't like him. It's very clear that he doesn't like Dovbyk. Dovbyk was the top goal scorer of La Liga 2 years ago. It's clear. You would have been praising him if you had him in your plans. Jadon Sancho, the deal fell through. As of right now, if they could find that again, Gasperini is not happy with the lack of signings that have been made. Gasperini wants players who can run in behind, who could be fast. He hasn't gotten it to this day.
They got Bailey, right? Leon Bailey?
They got Bailey. But he hasn't gotten everything that he's wanted.
What about O'Reilly? O'Reilly. Do they have O'Reilly? Or is that a Juventus?
I don't know if it's official
O'Reilly?
yet.
No.
O'Reilly, Matt O'Reilly.
O'Reilly.
No, Juventus want him. No, they don't have him.
Okay.
So, and they still have the question. I still have the question mark on Dybala. How does Dybala fit? Is he going to be fit to play? Sule. So can he actually live up to his potential? Ferguson, there's a question mark. I read a quote from De Zerbi 2 years ago that said, this guy Ferguson is going to be the best striker in all of Europe. But he hasn't shown it yet. It's tough for me to put my money on Roma, and I hope they keep Conte. If they keep Conte, maybe they have a shot. But without Conte, there's no chance. So that's why I have Roma in
You're a
fifth
little
place.
confused. I'll tell you the reasons why I have Roma on fourth. Okay? Let me tell you something. Nobody ever sees in big letters on the Gazzetta, the Corriere, and all that stuff that Gasperini and Ranieri are communicating with each other. There is something going on over there. You have two of the top coaches in the league, not just in Italy, in Europe, okay? Because Gasperini is one of the best in Europe. So those two guys, I'm sure they sit down behind, where all the cameras are off. They sit down and they talk. So if Dybala, this is my prediction, if Dybala, it's 80% of what I have seen last year, Roma is going to go into Champions League. And if Gasperini is very smart. He will know how to manage Dybala. He will not ask Dybala to come back. If Gasperini is going to tell him, say, this is what I need you to do.
But usually, they worked together at Palermo when he used to play as a false nine, but that was a much younger Dybala. And usually Gasperini's very intense.
Listen, Gasperini knows the age. He knows the physical problem that Dybala is having and all the stuff. He knows the quality as well of Dybala. Gasperini,
Are you convinced that he
I'm
loves
telling
Dybala?
you,
I mean, if he loves him, I'm not sure. I think he loves his quality. The thing is, obviously, we know Gasperini wants a certain work rate.
Yeah,
but in the
that's-
past, he's had Papu Gomez. He's
How
had
did that end?
Okay, but I mean, at the time they made Champions League with a Papu Gomez. So, you know, Muriel is not known.
Pete, if
to
Gasperini
being
and
a
Dybala,
guy
they
that's gonna
click,
chase after every
if
ball.
they click, those two guys is going to be
Well,
problem.
I think, listen, Dybala at this point of his career, you know, we know what he can add in the technique. He's not going to be the guy that's going to be running back and forth. That forget it. But I think if he can alternate with Solé, that's going to be a big advantage for Roma
So
to
not
be
play
able
together.
to. Well, you don't always have
You
to play
can. Of
together.
course you can
know,
play
you
together.
can play together, yes, but you have to also look at the balance with Gasperini. You know, I think if you can alternate as well, you give a big advantage because you can play 70 minutes and then put the quality like Dybala to come in 30 minutes of a game where you can give the utmost to finish
Or if
off
the game is
games,
out of the
catch,
reach, Pete.
to catch games,
Right.
but even to finish games.
Right.
Listen, unless you're winning 3-0, anything can happen. So you
I'm-
need that
I'm not
quality
I'm
up
not
top.
disagreeing with any of you guys. I think the project will be good. I just still feel like it's a little bit early, and the Mercato, as of today, as of August 19th, has not shown me to put them in a Champions League spot. So you mentioned that they're in a Champions League spot. You have them in fourth place.
Fourth.
And fifth place, who was?
I have Inter on the 5th. I
Inter-
told you.
Oh, yeah, we're shelving that. Sorry.
So
Fourth place, I have Juventus.
Juventus.
Mike has Roma, as I mentioned. So he's got Roma and Juve swapped.
Mike and I.
And my dad has also Juventus in fourth place. So let's talk about Juventus for now. I'll say this. Does Juventus convince me for fourth place? No. Would I be surprised if Roma and Juventus swapped? No, not at all. For me, Juventus is not a team to challenge for the Scudetto. They're not. They're a solid for pushing for a Champions League. That's their limit. I don't see them in a Scudetto battle. We haven't seen them in 5 years. We haven't seen Juventus push for a Scudetto. It doesn't count when you're in January. I'm talking about towards the end of the year. Are you actually in a Scudetto race? They have not been there. They tried to get other coaches. They were not able to get Antonio Conte. They said, all right, let's keep Tudor, which I don't think is the worst idea. But does it show me that they're convinced? No. What have they spent the whole summer doing? Working on deals that were already screwed up by the past management, that they still haven't been able to find a deal for Colomwani. Their direction confuses me. The defense, I'm still not sure that the defense is going to be great. I still think the midfield is missing an important player. The attack, you still got Dusan Vlahovic, who doesn't want to be there, but now is going to stay because he's going to get paid. Jonathan David, okay, it's good. You know, financially the deal might make sense, but does he convince me as being the starter? I have my doubts. I want to see a Juventus that competes. I want to see it, but for me, I still have big doubts. And again, I'm talking about competing for Scudetto. I don't see it with this Juventus. I think they could finish max fourth place next season.
wrong.
Let Peter go because he agrees with me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Juventus, they have all the secondary targets. That's what they have right now, and they're just, like you said, trying to fix the problems of last year, the problems of the past, and you know, there's only so much you can really do, especially with a financial fair play, money to spend. You know, it's infuriating, I think, for a Juventus fan because, you know, from at one point, you know, a Scudetto was not even, you know, silverware to be proud of, right? And
Again,
winning 9
Scudetto
straight,
again,
you know, like, and it was all about Champions League to now all of a sudden you can't even push for a Scudetto.
Yep.
So, you know, there's a lot of things that need to be figured out with Juventus. I think, you know, it sucks, but this is another anno zero. There's another year one where you have to be able to just figure out what we got. If you're able to see what you have, then you're able to make the next step next year. Tudor is, I think, a good coach. Is he a coach to bring Juventus to the promised land? I don't know. He's got this year to prove it. I think if he does well, he merits staying on. But it all comes down to, like, what is the actual project? And again, a lot of players in the past 2 years have been let go that now are at Real Madrid and
all
then
these freaking young
all the young
players.
guys that you wanted to have, you're just selling them on just to be able to recoup
Even
money.
Mbangula.
Yeah.
Even Mbangula.
Yeah.
For me, Mbangula is a player that's got a lot of value. Sule was part of the team. Dean
Yeah.
Huijsen was part of
Yeah,
it.
you got rid of all these guys.
There's a million guys that, maybe at the time they were not ready to compete for Scudetto, but at least then tomorrow you'd be in a good place. The thing that used to make me proud with Juventus is they used to find these talents and make them better. Now they're overspending for guys like Douglas Luiz, and then they're worse, and you're selling them on cup minors. So that's not the Juventus. That was not what Juventus used to do. They would find Paul Pogba for a free transfer and make them great. They would find Arturo Vidal playing at Bayer Leverkusen and understand how to make a midfield do so well, and all the pieces made sense, and there was a harmony. Again, I don't see that. And one more time, they go to Anno Zero, where Comoli is in charge, the French director, who's got a different approach to Giuntoli, who already didn't work, and then he has a different approach to what Paratici had. So, again, I feel like it's a hamster wheel for Juventus, and I don't see them stepping up to the next level.
I like the Paragon hamster wheel. Bum, 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 bum.
Where do you have Juventus?
I have Juventus third. I'll tell you the reasons why.
Yeah, why?
I think you have two players that they can become potentially breakout player into the league. One is Yildiz, okay, and one is Conceição. To me, those two guys are trouble for any team. Number one.
Well said.
Number two, you're getting Bremer back, right? Let me tell you something. If this guy is 80% of what I know him, the way he plays, it's a huge boost for the defense. Okay, you got David. So you got a lot of potential from midfield and up. The only question mark is whether whether Bremer is gonna have a nice friend next to him to to make the defense work as well as we know the way it was working before he got hurt. So Juventus could be potentially one of the top three. I will actually put it even higher, but I said third place for Juventus. I don't think Juventus is going to go below third.
So
as much as I hate to say it, but Juventus is they got the team. They got the team.
So let me ask you: do you think
despite what you just said about this and this, they got the team.
So do you think is it a third place where they're far away from first?
No, they are within 7-8 points.
For me, that's a big
7-8 points.
Okay, 7-8 points. Okay, I think that's a pretty big gap. But
yeah.
You do make a great point, and I think Juventus' season will depend on Kenan Yildiz.
Yeah,
I think it'll be Kenan Yildiz. If Yildiz is that much of a difference maker, he could move the needle to making Juventus be so competitive. Bremer, if he stays healthy, again, these are the things. Juventus' season. When did Juventus' season take a tumble? Last year, it's when Bremer got injured the Champions League against RB Leipzig. Before that, they were looking great. They finally had good things. So now I'm reliant on one or two players, and I'm just not sure on playing that game, that roulette on betting that they could fight for a league title. But yes, you're absolutely right. The players, I totally agree with you. But again, the difference between third and fourth place, in my mind, you're still not competing for a title. So it's not that much.
I don't think they have the championship on the radar right now, but they can challenge. Listen, you need to be lucky, and you need to be coming inside of the field, stepping into the grass. Many times they give the half steps and all the stuff with the right mentality. Because if you they do the half step, so you need to have the right mentality.
Third place, you have Juventus.
Yeah.
I have Milan in third place.
Same.
Wow, Milan in third place. My dad, actually, I'm going to say my dad. I'm going to scroll down and look at Mike. Mike has Milan in third place.
Wow.
Third place, you have Juventus. My dad has Milan has in third place Napoli. Big surprise. I asked my dad. I said, is this correct? Do you have Napoli in third place? He said yes. Period.
Can't change anymore.
Can't change anymore. Let's take Milan. I love what Milan has done this mercato. I think they learned from their mistakes. They went back to Serie A experience. Look what happens when you get a proper sporting director in Terrace. He's been able to make. How did you sell Ciao and Okafor for 60+ million? That is fantastic business. And it shows you that last year they made a big mistake trying to go without a sporting director. And it shows you how competent Terrace is. You got Max Allegri, which I know you're not a big fan of him, but I will tell you, for me, Allegri fits what this Milan needs. And what do I mean by that? I sat here 1 year ago and I said Milan's biggest problem is in defense. They finished in second place the year prior to that with 10 teams having a better defensive record. And what did they do? They got Fonseca. They ended up getting Conceição. They didn't sign any competent defenders. And it's no surprise. In the last 3 years, they've conceded an average of 45 goals. Allegri will fix that. Allegri believes that he gave a quote, in the last 20 years, there's only one team who won Serie A without the best defense, and that was Sarri's Juve. You need to have an amazing defense to challenge. Milan's biggest problem was that. When they're going to sit in, when they're going to play on the counter, you'll get the best out of Pulisic. You'll get the best out of Leao. You made great moves. I think Yashadi is going to pay dividends for you. Yes, losing Reinders is bad. You got Yashadi. You got Ricci, bright young Italian talent. For 25 million, great deal. You got Modric, who's going to add experience. And the biggest thing is you're playing in one competition.
Look at him.
So I think you could replicate what Napoli did last year by putting all your focus. And I have Milan in third place. I still want to see if you sign a striker and another defender. You got De Winter. I really want to say Milan can fight for a Scudetto. I'm not there yet, but I think they could. And third place, by the way, is great. You need to get back into Champions League. That's the goal. So that's why I have Milan third place. Why do you have Milan third place?
And you got rid of Theo Hernandez,
which is a big mistake.
In the locker room. Locker room, he's not always the greatest. And then obviously on the field, we're talking about defense. He doesn't know how to defend. So, well done by Tare. I think, being able to sell those two players for that amount of money it's not an easy task. Also you have to be a little lucky because Premier League, we know what they're looking for, the athleticism, the physicality, and both players fit that prototype.
Does Okafor fit anything?
Yeah, he does because his picchi di velocità, that's what everyone looks for, that top speed. So even if you watch a lot of the games nowadays when they look to evaluate players, it's all about the speed and the resistance, and it's not the greatest part, but that's what they're looking at in a Premier League. In any case, Allegri knows how to win, has the right mentality. I think, within a locker room that has had issues, knows how to manage and be a manager with each individual and also the group. And I think playing transition football, counterattack football, is what Milan is going to really be able to thrive in. And Leao, that guy is lethal. He's going to have a lot of space in front of him, and you just be able to pass it to him, and he's going to be able to work his magic. So there's just things that I think put Milan in that third spot. Now, can they challenge for Scudetto? We'll still have to see. I agree with you. The fact that you're not playing Europe, he's going to be able to really focus and make sure, one, team stays healthy, and two, you're able to put all your eggs in one basket.
Milan's best games last year, their only good game. I mean, you beat Real Madrid. What did you do? You played on the counter. I mean, that's the way that this Milan side was built to play. And last year, with a proper coach, you would have fought for the Scudetto. I think that you really had the team. So it's sort of the balance of you really underachieving last year, finishing in 8th place, getting back to that reality because of the instability that you had with so many changes last summer that didn't really make a lot of sense, and also the competency of Allegri. And I know people are going to say, I criticized Allegri a lot at Juventus, but at Juventus it didn't fit. Allegri was not needed for what Juventus wants. You always have to say a coach has to fit what the project is. For me, Allegri fits the project that Milan have right now based on the players, because he's a much better man manager than he is for trying to overcome in terms of quality or making a team overachieve. He's good at speaking to players and getting the most of them and doing the best with what he has at his disposal. We haven't let you speak. Where do you have Milan?
All right, I have Milan first.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay.
What's there to laugh? Okay,
you didn't have them first, though.
Okay. The only question mark that I still have on my head, I've been watching a lot of preseason and this and that. Hey, Marco, what's the link for this game? What's the link for that game? So I've been watching them.
Don't say that.
So
I sent him a Paramount Plus link, and this guy goes,
so
where's
I
the
cannot
game?
really
I
go
said,
into the
Paramount
Golazzo.
Plus.
The Golazzo, if you don't click quickly enough, and then I have to go to the sports, I have to go.
He makes me email him the link. Anyway.
Bottom line, the only thing that is not convincing me still is the defense. Okay, Estupinian and De Winter. I don't know much about them yet to be able to just say, hey, we got it.
De Winter, I can tell you about De Winter.
We have Gabbia, Tomori. I was never high on him, but nevertheless, we have those two guys, Gabbia and Tomori, that kind of pretty sure of themselves. I didn't mind seeing Thiago go for $40 million. $40 million is good money for Thiago. So
De Winter, by the way, De Winter, he's very good on the ball. He was another Juventus youth product, but he did very well with Vieira at Genoa. I watched him a lot. I think he's better in a back three if you do play a back three because he's good with the ball. He's fast. But he has a lot of moments of lapse of concentration. I've seen him so many games making key mistakes. That's my worry with him.
The only thing that I am been pleased to see it, not because of Allegri. Allegri, I think it's his boy is buying into Terrace mentality too, because or vice versa. Let me just say something. I never seen Leao playing as a forward, as a pure forward. And I think just because of the speed that we have right now, we have Salemaker. We just reclaimed Salemaker. Excellent. We have Salemakers. We have a lot of speed. And on a counter, like you just said it, we have Jimenez, we have Salemakers, and then we have Leao. So, and do not discount the fact that we have three of the best midfielders that they know how to put the ball. Giochiamo in verticale. Boom.
Playing
Straight
vertical.
in. Vertical, boom. 1, 2, 3 passes. You're in front of the goalkeeper. 1-to-1. If you get caught and you want to play a little bit the offside line with AC Milan, you're going to get punished. So, I seen AC Milan playing the Coppa Italia with the body. They pressed most of the game.
Who'd you go for in the game?
Well, for nobody. I ain't go
this
because
guy when Body almost scored, he was so upset.
no, I was not. I was not.
Yeah, I saw the real you.
No,
you really
no.
went for Milan.
For me, Coppa Italia doesn't mean anything. I think AC Milan is gonna do damage this year. The main thing we wanted to see, we still wanted to keep kicking the Inter's rear end because that's what counts for us the most. And I think that
So you say first place.
First place,
Scudetto
yeah.
winners.
Scudetto, yes.
You did. I think you did predict back in 2021 when they won.
I predicted every year.
What do they say? A broken clock is right.
I think
Two
he.
times?
I think he
At
said
least
when
two
they
times?
signed Zlatan, you said, "Oh, we're gonna win."
Listen, Modric.
next
Let
year.
me tell you, between Modric and Jasari, I saw them even on this preseason with playing with Bari. We have Ricci, Modric. Modric's not a box to box.
Yeah,
Not the way you say. Listen, we have 3 or 4 guys that are box to box. Loftus-Cheek,
have Musa.
Fofana, Musa. We have a lot of weapons, and Pulisic is gonna have another
I hope
big
so.
season.
He needs it right before the World
Another
Cup.
big season.
With everything that Pulisic was going through with the Gold Cup and players like Donovan coming out and Tim Howard, he needs to. I hope he can be distracted by playing well for Milan, putting on very good performances. He's playing closer to goal. We even saw Leao and Pulisic play together. If they stay healthy, I have no doubt that this Milan side is going to be.
And
lethal.
listen, let's finish up with this. I think AC Milan they're making a mistake with this Oiland. If they sign Oiland, they're gonna regret it. I wish we would have cut Kristovic from Lecce. Okay, we gave them Camarda. Hey, make a little deal,
Maybe in the last days of the Mercato you could sign Vlahovic.
Vlahovic, I will take it.
But the problem is he doesn't want to cut his salaries. He's
So-
making $12 million a year, and he figures I'm
Listen.
gonna go out of contract. Why not get paid?
I'll tell you the reasons why I don't want this guy Oiland. Okay, when somebody like AC Milan makes a phone call and you pick up the phone and say, "Hey, this is AC Milan. We want you to play for us." This guy still doesn't know. He wants to try to take his chance again with Manchester United. If they put you already on the bench, one more do you need to know? Amorim doesn't want
They
him.
don't want him.
So they don't want this
don't
guy here. So why you keep going back and forth? You do not want to be begged. If AC Milan, I call you 1 time, 2 times, I seen Tarek going over there trying to lobby for this guy to come. Begging this kind of player is always been
But
a major problem.
I think you prefer Vlahovic.
I do.
No. I think Milan prefers Vlahovic.
Yeah.
So that's why they have him completely pulled the trigger on Højlund.
This guy is a nobody. He hasn't shown me anything. What did he do? What was his breakout season?
9
Why was
goals
he
at
sold for
Atalanta.
$75 million
Because
from
they
Atalanta?
thought it was Haaland.
Yeah.
They thought it was Haaland's brother.
These guys got nothing. So when AC Milan calls you and you still not sure, stay where you are. Sit on the bench. Stay where you are. I don't want this guy. Please, guys, for all the AC Milan fan, Tare, don't get this guy here. It's not an AC Milan. This guy's not good. He's not Van Basten. He's a nobody. So he hasn't shown me anything so far. Even Zirkzee, I had a little, but
They're not
he
gonna
did.
let him go.
Zirkzee did very well in Bologna. Said this guy had the potential. Look what is happening to him. It's another guy that he went to Manchester United and he's sitting on his ass most of the time. So do not beg players that they haven't shown anything, that they're not proven to be champions. I know Jasari is going to do excellent.
He's a Milan fan.
Jasari?
Yeah.
Of course.
He was in the stands for Milan, Barcelona when Allegri was a coach. Yashari also, people don't realize, he played at Club Brugge. He played in Champions League games. I mean, he's played in high-level matches, so he's not just some kid that they're signing. Either way, I agree with you.
We're not taking a chance like the Catalari. The Catalari was a great signing. It was Pioli's fault that I wasn't unable to plug him in and to get into the grooves.
Different type of players.
Yeah,
different
but
type of player. Yashari wins a lot of balls in the midfield.
Oh, this guy here,
hustler.
it's
Either way, I don't think you're crazy.
Thanks.
For Milan being in first place. I could see it, but again, there's so many things that could switch around. Second place.
Inter.
You have Inter. I have Inter. Second place, you had Juve, right?
I have Napoli.
Oh, you had
I
Napoli.
have Napoli third. I have Juve third.
Juve third. Napoli second. We'll save Napoli. Let me check what the boys had. Mike has Inter in second. My dad has Milan in second place. Remember, he has Napoli in third place. Inter. Kivo's a question mark. He's managed 13 games in Serie A. He wants to make the team more aggressive. He wants to make them more vertical. He wants to give them different solutions. He wants to try to play 3-4-2-1 at times because there was moments under Simone Inzaghi that things were one-dimensional. If plan A didn't work, it was continuing to do it. Kivo wants to change that. He's got great experience with the youth team of Inter, so he's helped Francesco Pio Esposito. It seems like he's going to stay in the squad. I love that. You made two very good signings. Sucic, I think, is going to be a fantastic player. This kid, I went to Croatia. I spoke to fans. They said that he is one of the brightest talents that they had that has played at a top level. I think Sucic is going to be very good. I love Boni. I think Boni's a fantastic player from Parma. He could run in behind. He's going to give Thuram competition, which Thuram didn't have a lot of competition, and I think that was a problem. Every week we knew that there was no way Arnautovic or Taremi was going to start. That doesn't help for two center forwards. Boni is going to help in that aspect. I think he's, again, a great player. Luis Enrique, I think, was a waste of money. If I'm telling you the truth, not impressed. You still haven't signed the defender. You had the Lukman saga that you needed a player of his profile. Now that you're saying you don't need a player of his profile, you still want a midfielder. You want Kone. You don't know if Kone could go through. I just have too many question marks around the Inter, and I have to say I'm disappointed because I would expect a team that goes to Champions League final should be able to do more. I watch teams that have done less and have invested in the squad. And I know there's financial limitations with Inter, with Serie A clubs, but I expected more than to be sitting here on August 19th and to see three signings and not sell properly, not reinvest so far. And I think that Napoli still has more, so that's why I have Inter in second place. Why do you have Inter in second place?
I think Kivu is the main reason why Inter's in second place. I think they're there also ahead of Milan and Juventus for me because the team pretty much remains unchanged. And although three signings doesn't seem like a lot, you have quality signings coming in between Boni, Sucic,
and who else?
And listen,
you think Luis Enrique is good?
The thing is, I'm not watching him in the Club World Cup. I was not so thrilled, but I think keeping Dumfries, Luis Enrique is going to be the second string. So for him, for me,
25 million spent.
No, it's not. It's not. I would have preferred going after Leone, closing at 35 with Leone. That you have a future of Bastoni and Leone together. That for sure.
I agree.
And we're still going to need to sign a center back. Although, Acerbi, De Vrij, these guys, they're there. Bisek is staying. There's a lot of, that's what we're dealing with right now. And I think they'll ultimately make the signing. I'm surprised with Lukman. If you're already offering 45 and Percassi saying 50, you send Zalewski. I'll accept if Antonio says, it's already done. But if they're not able to get this, deal done, and we're really talking about $5 million here for a player that you're saying that you desperately want, I just feel like that's a mistake.
The deal is done, Pete.
But
he's worth it for me. Lukman, if Inter get Lukman, and honestly, if they were really serious, they should get Lukman and Kone. If I'm saying the truth,
but where's Kone? I don't.
I would love.
What are you going to plug those people? Who are you going to see?
You still have Fratesi.
Hakan
you
is
still
still
have
injured.
Barella,
Mkhitaryan.
Calhanoglu, Mkhitaryan.
Yeah, you need
Sucic.
players
How
there.
many more players are going to have?
I will get
Marco.
either
You're
way.
gonna be playing
my
with
point,
Zelinski.
one second.
Zelinski too.
My point
I
is,
don't think
if
Kone.
Inter get Lukman, then I'm putting them in a real race for Scudetto, and it's going to be like a coin flip again. But then Kivu to balance out. You need Lookman for me to compete for the title. If you don't have Lookman, I don't think you're going to win
with
Scudetto.
or without.
Hey,
Lookman,
to me,
With you can win it.
with or without, they can compete for Scudetto. I just don't know if
Marco,
if
how
they
many
got
balls is
everything
going to be
ready.
sharing with Lautaro, this guy here? It's going to be a struggle, a leadership struggle over there.
3.
Yeah?
The 3 of them. I would love to see Thuram, Lautaro,
Oh,
and
they'll
Lookman.
change the formation. If
So what is going to do? A 3-4-3?
No, 3-4-2-1.
3-4-2-1.
3-4-2-1?
Yeah, with them two right behind.
3-4-1-2.
Either way, you find a way to play great players. For me, Lookman is worth the $50 million. If I was Napoli, I would have swooped in and taken him a long time ago. That's a story for
Look,
another time.
Devray is going to be a big liability for you guys. I mean, those guys were humiliated on the Champions League. Come on, you have Devray still over there. You have the other old man over there. What's his name? Acerbi.
The other old man.
They're too old.
So you have them in 5th place
I have them on 5th.
since we shelved it because of
Because the defense has not been proven to hold up the water when when you have a big gap.
when you have a flood.
You're a flood, yeah. So you're not going to do it. With that defense, Pete, you're not going to do it. Midfield and forward line, whether you get it or whether you don't get Lookman, you are stuck up over there.
So you think there's 4 teams that are better than them? Because you have them in 5th place. You have them out of a Champions League spot.
I don't see them. I don't see them. With
if
that
there's no
defense,
fifth team in
with that
Champions
defense,
League.
and Summer is not going to make all of those miracles that he did in the past. I don't think Summer is going to be the.
I think you're excessive. I don't see Inter finishing below 3rd place.
I don't know.
I
just don't see.
I think the worst season that Inter could have could be 3rd place.
I'm putting my money on Roma because of Dybala and Gasperini.
Where you have Roma?
I have a Roma 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So first place, you and I, we have the same thing. We have Napoli. Mike has Napoli. You have Milan. And my dad has Inter in 1st place. And my dad last year, him and I were aligned with Napoli. We both really like Napoli. And again, I confirmed with him. I said, Dad, you have Inter winning. He said, yes, Inter will win the Scudetto. He feels confident that they will be able to do it. I think we see something a little bit different. But Napoli, for me, they did the Mercato so early. They got 90% of it done. They already had the best defense in Europe. What did they do? They signed Bucama, one of the best defenders in Serie A in the last years. I know Conte has come out and said, he's a replacement for Rachmani. I don't agree.
He's starting.
I think the guy becomes a starter for sure. They got Milinkovic-Savic back in net. I think he ends up starting over Meret, by the way, eventually.
No, Meret is going to be the keeper.
They got Gutierrez, the fullback, who in Spain, he's the second defender for the most chances
De Bruyne.
created.
De Bruyne is going to be the superstar
In
for
the
them.
midfield, they kept Lobotka, they kept Anguissa. Of course, they kept McTominay. They added Kevin De Bruyne. The quality can't be disputed, and he's been playing in the Campeonato in the preseason for them together. It's giving me flashbacks of Juventus when they had Marchisio, Vidal, Pogba, and Pirlo. And you know what that team did? Which Conte built the foundation for these teams. That team ended up going to 2 Champions League finals. The team went to the Champions League final the year after Conte didn't stay when Allegri was a coach. Why? Because the midfield is so important. They're going to have so much quality. Yes, they'll lose Anguissa for a month because of AFCON. So it makes sense that they have a couple other guys coming in. They got Gilmore, maybe Miretti, maybe Fratesi. Who knows who's going to end up being it?
Miretti is broken. He injured himself.
For a long... I thought it was 10 days.
10 days.
Oh.
I think it's a little
Either
bit
way.
more than that.
And then up top, they got Noah Lang. He could beat his man 1v1. Very creative. They kept Neres, Politano. The big news is Lukaku's out for 3 months. And they already have Lorenzo Luca. Can he step up to the plate? They're talking about them signing Dovbyk as the replacement for Lukaku, who I think he's pretty similar to him. I think Conte could turn him into a beast. The guy was top goal scorer in La Liga. They're still missing 1 or 2 players. I will say this about Napoli. They're missing
a defender still.
They're missing the Kvara replacement still, which, again, I would go for Lookman, a winger, because they didn't get Ndoye. They wanted Ndoye, and they need to replace Lukaku. But besides that, I feel very confident on Napoli. I think it's the first time, maybe ever, that Napoli go into a season as Scudetto favorites, which is just remarkable to say how they've changed the narrative in 12 months. And the biggest thing is betting against Conte is not a winning formula. When you talk about league play, I want to see him make the step up in Champions League, in European competitions, where I listened to his press conference. He said he took the fault. He put his hand up, and he said, maybe at times I've left projects too early. I've been too ambitious because Inter went to 2 Champions League finals. Juventus went to 2 Champions League finals. Of course, the other coaches helped get them there, but he built those foundation. And I really think he is starting to put those pillars in place for Napoli to do the same thing.
I'll tell you the reasons why I have Napoli second.
Let him go first because he's got the Napoli in first.
Yeah, I just think that they've done everything they can to, double up, right? And go back to back for Scudetto. Champions League is obviously going to be a challenge. You got extra games now, but the depth there is top. Obviously, now with Lukaku getting injured, you got to try to figure out a situation there. I know the replacement of Kvara, but I still think Along, Neres, you're also adding De Bruyne, so you can maybe potentially change a formation. So maybe you're not going to play with the 3 up top. So I think they're set. And they're the team that were able to close on every player that they wanted. And I think Conte almost. And I think Conte, the reason why Conte stayed was knowing that they were going to go out and buy players. So literally, even to the backup goalkeeper, they have that lined up, ready to go. So I think the only issue that Napoli could have is either, a Conte outburst or, not having enough space for all these players to play and creating some conflict. But I think playing in 3 competitions, there's plenty of games to go around. And I think Conte definitely wants to do better in the Champions League. So he will go farther. That's my only downside, I guess, with Napoli not being able to win the Scudetto. But besides that, they're going to be solid defensively. They're adding to what they got up top with De Bruyne, with Along, having Neres, bench play.
What do you think about Luka?
Yeah, bench play. I think Luka is great.
Now he's going to jump into a starter most likely, right?
Listen, he's different than a Lukaku, but I think if anything, he might even have better hold-up play. And for Napoli, if they get crosses, especially with this guy, Gutierrez, the guy's a big target. He moves well for his size. So is he the first sure guy? I don't know. He still has a lot to prove, but he's shown flashes, with Udinese, and I think just with more service, he might be able to score well. And Conte is known to be able to get the most out of players. I mean, we almost beat Germany in the Euros with
Spain
Graziano, Pele, and Eder. So he knows how to turn a player into a top player.
2 things with Napoli, okay?
You have him second, right?
I have them second. First of all, the Champions League, the other international competition could be a dagger for them, number 1. Number 2, I think Lukaku being injured is a blessing for Napoli because I don't see Lukaku doing as much as, Lukaku is not these great strikers that you guys are talking about it. Luka, for me, is just as good or better. He's got a lot more juice, his speed, and with the head is much better than Lukaku. He can find himself open at all the time. He will not draw all the attention that Lukaku used to draw on himself. And I think Luka they don't need anybody. They don't need Dobby. They don't need anybody.
You can't go into a season with 1 center forward.
Listen.
You can't go into a season with 1 center
Napoli
forward.
is a team that doesn't score with a center forward
You
only.
can't go
He
into
scores
a
with
season
just
without
about
with
everybody.
1 center forward.
Except
You
for
can't.
the goalkeeper, everybody
Anto,
scores on Napoli.
It's impossible a serious team to
second
go in
striker.
with one striker.
If Luka gets injured, what happens?
Yeah,
He's not going to get injured. He's not going to get injured.
Also,
I'm telling you right now.
I could understand what you're saying about
Lukaku. I was never high on this guy here.
Okay, so you're totally wrong on the quality of Lukaku. That's number 1.
Luka, I think is gonna put everybody to shame. Luka for me, it's a starter. Okay. Lukaku should be coming in for Luka as a sub.
So Lukaku did amazing last year. It got overlooked because of what McTominay did, and that's why he was the MVP. But Lukaku was right there. He had double digits in goals and assists. Salah and I think 2 other players are the only guys in all of Europe to be able to put up those numbers. He understands Conte. He understands the system. He makes everybody play better. The only way I could agree that it's a blessing is that at least it happened now in August when the Mercato's still open, and it didn't happen when it was closed. And they still have a chance to get a player before January because this could be a long-term injury. That's the only way I could say is they got a little bit lucky because they could find a replacement. Besides that, they're losing a lot with him. But it is great that they moved so early. And it just goes to show that as a club, and you got to give De Laurentiis a lot of credit for what he's been able to do. And Manna, I love what they've been able to build. They're very serious. They have no debt. They buy players the right way. They identify players. They don't joke around. I give them so much credit for the foundation that they've built.
Listen, if they Lukaku, how many goals did he score last year?
I think it was 12 goals, 10 assists.
Okay.
Let me double check.
So you're telling me that between De Bruyne, Luka, and another all the three or four signings that they made, that they're not going to make up for those 12 goals? Let me tell you something. De Bruyne is going to score 6 or 7 goals.
14 goals, 10 assists.
Okay. De Bruyne is going to score 6 or 7. Luka probably another 10. So right there,
Yeah, but you can't look at it that way, Antonio.
I don't know. So
You
you said you need a
You need a
replacement.
center forward off the bench. You need something.
You 1,000% need a
Then
replacement.
you have to put on the paper. You have to put on the paper and come clean and say, hey, listen, I want to go for both Campionato and Champions League. He doesn't have the team to win the Champions League. Napoli is not even close.
There's no expectation.
Okay.
I wonder how it changes with the league format because it's a little bit more forgiving than in the past iteration. So I want to see how Conte approaches it compared to what he's had in the past, where he has been a failure in Europe. There's no doubt about it. I will say also, he's only been in the Champions League a couple seasons, so it takes time for coaches to be able to learn the competition, to get things down packed. But between the Europa League and between Champions League, he doesn't have a good track record. But I want to see if something is different this year with the league phase.
It doesn't have Champions League caliber team, Conte. Not now. Not yet.
Quarterfinals.
Quarters. Maybe
Quarterfinals.
semi. Maybe even semis.
Semis would be a reach. But I would love to see it. Anyway, these are our Serie A predictions for the
to
2025-26
finish up, it will not
season.
bother me. It will not bother me if Napoli wins. As long as Inter doesn't win or Juventus doesn't win, it's fine with me. Actually, it's more Inter than Juventus. So
we want to know from the people, though. Leave your comments, because everyone's going to say, oh, Antonio's right, Peter's right, Mike is right, Marco, you're right, Gaetano, you're right. We want to hear from you. Drop it now, and then
what do you mean drop it now?
Come May, we
Drop
can look
it?
back in the comment section, and we could see who was right, who was wrong, and maybe we'll give my dad one little change.
No more change. That's it. It's done. What's done is done.
If we get somebody in the comments that gets it right, Antonio will pay for a steak dinner with him.
Listen,
he'll fly you
Top
out
10,
to New York.
Top 10. The 10's
He'll
got to be
fly
in
you out.
order.
10 has got to be in order.
10 in order.
Oh,
and
boy.
the 3. And
The bottom 3 is the bonus points. If
Bonus
there's
points.
You
a
get
couple
steak
people,
with porterhouse steak.
no, but imagine there's a couple people.
You get a
that the top 10.
Fiorentina,
Oh, yeah,
bloody
yeah.
Fiorentina, okay?
All right, guys. Thank you for watching. Like,
Okay.
subscribe, and we'll talk to you soon. Ciao, ragazzi.
All right.
Ciao.